Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Solmer Sports Broadcast. I am Benny and I'm here with
Brandon. So we are going to get started with our Somers Sports Recap. Benny, take us away.
So, first game on May 3rd, the Tuskers took on Carmel, a doubleheader in baseball. The first game, Somers took that one 4-3, and the second one, Somers took that one 6-3.
Same day, boys lacrosse took on Lakeland Panis. Boys lacrosse won 19-6.
Great win there by the Tuskers, and then that following Monday they took on Byram Hills, and that was a great win for the Tuskers as they went on to win that one. That was a fun game to call as well, 18-6.
On May 6th, the varsity baseball had a good win against Byram Hills, 3-1.
And then in the final home game of the season, for the regular season for girls flag football, the Tuskers took on Mayorpac, and fortunately it was Mayorpac who took that one 31-18.
May 7th, JV baseball took on Fox Lane. Unfortunately, lost 1-0 in extra innings.
May 7th, we have varsity baseball. They took on Mayorpac, and the Tuskers won that one 5-1.
May 7th as well, varsity lacrosse took on Fox Lane and won 22-2.
I just want to mention a great effort by the Tuskers, especially in the first half of the game, as it was 19-0 at halftime. And it was a great performance, especially by the seniors, as it was senior night for that game.
Congratulations to all the seniors.
So next up is a segment that we're getting back to now. We did this in varsity football season, but we're going to do this for a few upcoming lacrosse games, and we'll be predicting the scores of the games. So first one, we have girls lacrosse as they take on Hen Hut on May 14th. We should be doing that game. I'll definitely be doing it. Either we'll be doing it on local live, definitely possibly YouTube, but anyway, I think it's going to be the Somers Tuskers who take that one in a close one, 15-13.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be a pretty even game, actually. But I have Somers pulling ahead at the end of the fourth quarter, 12-8. And then Somers, the next day, May 15th, is going to take on Tappan Zee in boys lacrosse. I have Somers winning 15-6.
And I think Tappan Zee is a great team. They only have 2 losses on the season. They're going to give Somers a bit of a fight, but I still think Somers is still great at getting big wins against the toughest opponents in the section. I still think they're going to get a big win, winning 17-9. Next, Brandon, do you want to talk a little bit about what is currently going on in the MLB?
Yeah, so the Yankees are hot right now with some wins over the Astros and some wins over the Padres, extending their lead in the AL East. The Dodgers were just barely able to beat out the Padres in extra innings. That's keeping the NL West race tight. Other news, Bryce Harper is reported to return from injury this weekend. And Jazz Chisholm Jr. of the Yankees is currently dealing with an oblique injury, but is expected to return a little before schedule. Next up, we're going to take a look at some MLB Top 10 Power Rankings. Moving into our MLB Top 10 Power Rankings, I got the New York Yankees at number 1, starting off hot. Best team in the league right now. Also at number 2, I have the Dodgers, which could be switched with the Yankees. I think those are interchangeable right now. Dodgers, Yankees, both hot. Then at number 3, we have the Braves. 4, Baltimore Orioles. Number 5, Phillies, who are going to see Bryce Harper returning soon. Milwaukee Brewers, they recovered after their opening series with the Yankees. Texas Rangers at 7, Mariners at 8, Cleveland Guardians at 9, and Padres at 10 after having a rough series with the Yankees. The Red Sox did not make this list. I probably have them at an 11 or 12. They're right there. We just have a great top 15 teams, so they're definitely in the top 12.
So now on to the most recent NASCAR race. It was at Texas, and with Cindric winning Stage 1, Larson winning Stage 2, Kyle Larson did dominate a good amount of the race, but at one of the final restarts, he got passed by multiple drivers, led by Joey Logano. Blaney and Chastain were there as well, and Joey Logano, the defending Cup Series champion, was able to hold off Blaney and Chastain. Chastain also trying to get his first win in a while, but fortunately for Chastain, Joey Logano was able to hold on and get his first win of the year.
And now we are going to predict our NASCAR Championship 4. I'll get us started. My Championship 4, Larson, Hamlin, Byron, and Bell. All great drivers who have been showing up this season.
Yeah. And who do you have? What order do you have them finishing?
I have them in the order that I said them, so I have Larson, Hamlin, and Byron first, second, and third.
Okay. And then what I got is coming in fourth. I think it's going to be an exciting championship 4. And anything could happen in the playoffs, but I think this year one driver that will make it is Christopher Bell. He's already driven phenomenal this season. Unfortunately, I think he's going to come in fourth in that, but he's a great driver. I think Byron's going to find a way to make it again. He'll come in third, however. And I have a Penske driver making it, but surprising most people, only got one, and it's going to be Austin Cindric. I think he's already been racing phenomenal this year, and Austin Cindric I could see going on a championship run. But I have him coming in second place to, of course, Kyle Larson. I think last year, I've said this the last few years, it should have been Kyle Larson's year. He's been the best driver, I felt like, especially last season, but I think this is the year that he's finally going to get his second championship. So next up we have IndyCar coming up, the race before the Indy 500. We got the road course at Indianapolis, and Brandon, who you got?
I got McLaughlin, and I think he's going to continue the momentum that he is going to gain at the road course into the Indy 500.
Yeah, McLaughlin's a driver that's always great at Indy 500, but I think, yes, Alex Palou has been phenomenal. He's won 3 out of the 4 races this season and came in second in the other one. He's a great driver and probably the favorite by far coming into this one, but I think it's going to be Santino Ferrucci. If he doesn't win this one, he's going to probably win. He's going to win a race this year, but Santino Ferrucci, a favorite for the Indy 500. I could also see him taking this one for at the road course as well, so we'll see, but I think it's going to be the first clear win for him. But next up, we have our interview with our club advisor and Somers athletic director, Mr. Hattem. So today we are here with the Somers athletic director and also the Somers sports broadcasting advisor, Mr. Hattem. Thank you for coming in today.
It's a pleasure to finally be invited on with you guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, as always.
Yeah.
And Jaden, do you want to get us started off with the first question?
Yeah, sure. So, Mr. Ham, what is your background in just like the world of sports before becoming an athletic director?
So much like you guys, I fell in love with sports from a very early age. I grew up in Queens, New York, and my dad used to take me to Jet fans and Jet games and Met games, and from there it was everything. I got into everything just like you guys. Played basketball and baseball in high school. Never played in college. Went to SUNY Cortland, and SUNY Cortland's a big phys ed school. A lot of our teachers here in district, our football coaches went to SUNY Cortland as well. It's the place to go if you want to get into phys ed. Did that, got my master in health education, and away you go. And here I am. But growing up, I was a lot like you guys. I loved sports. I loved the social connections. My best friends to this day are people I played sports with when I was 8, 10 years old. So. That was it. It's always meant a lot to me, and love doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah, so surrounded by sports your whole life, pretty much.
Surrounded by sports my whole life. I have 3 kids. I'm hoping to get them into sports, whatever they want to do. But sports is more than winning and losing. It's about I spoke about social relationships that I have.
Yeah, definitely.
I was having a conversation with one of our dads recently about his hiring practices for his own personal. He's a doctor and he's in the medical field, and he was talking about when he hires people in his field, he always looks for people that were athletes and played team sports because of the bond that team sports and the lessons that we learn through team sports give you those skills necessary, some of those advanced skills necessary as you get older. So I think we could all agree sports is such a wonderful thing, from the actual game to what we learn beyond it and what we do beyond it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the next question is, could you tell us a little bit about the position of athletic director and what you do?
Yeah, well, I do this, and this has been probably the highlight of my year, seeing the success of what you guys have done, right?
Thank you so much.
Yeah, listen, it's every day is just a treat to come in, and it's not just about the games, and it's not just about the work. From 4:30 to 7:30 when we have games, there's a lot of stuff that go on during the day. I'm surrounded by great people, one thing I'll always, I'll start with you guys and anybody that wants to listen. The relationships, having people close to you that can get stuff done is so important, right? And I'm lucky, as you guys know, Miss Tippett in our office, my supervision staff, my colleagues, my administrative colleagues here are great. So they help along with all those things. You surround yourself with great people, you get great things done, and we do a lot here. Again, we do a lot. I'm into the phys ed side, the health side, the club side. This every second, and you guys know, you come in my office, you knock on the door, Mr. Hattem, you're free. I'm like, I got 3 seconds for you. You're a custodian, you're a grounds person, you do every job, but that's why I love it. I get into work and there's not a quiet second until I walk out the door, and it's great. It keeps me busy.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. It's important to stay busy during the day.
It is. I keep the coffee right by my side. That helps too. So yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And now, like, what made you want to do this job, being an athletic director?
That's a great question, Jaden, and what made you want it? Because some days, like, I just talk about how great it is, but some days I leave here and I'm completely mentally and physically wiped. And I said, why did I want to do this job in the first place, right? But, in education, in administration, it all starts with the student athletes. It all starts with the kids. You guys are young men, but from K through 12. And I just love watching our athletes, our sports broadcasting clubs succeed. And I love watching our young men, young women grow, become better every day. I had a lot of coaches, a lot of people in my life through athletics that helped mold me into the person I am. And maybe, I guess, Jaden, it's a way of giving back and doing that for other people, right? And just watching our athletes, our students thrive and do things they love, and that comes in the world of athletics. So I think that was probably my main motivation, is that I had great people helping me along the way, and my utter joy that it brings me to watch young people succeed through athletics.
Sure, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, very lucky. I'm very lucky. So yeah.
Definitely. And now could you talk about, what did you go to college for? And did you always plan to be an athletic director?
Yeah, so I don't know what I planned to do. Much like all of our high school students in this building, I was, and my parents, wonderful, and they always said, Mark, you just do what you want, but they knew how much I loved athletics. So I remember around my high school time, they said, how about phys ed? You could get into the coaching, you could do all that stuff. So that's where it started. I went to school for phys ed, like I told you, SUNY Cortland. In New York State, it helps if you also have a secondary degree in health education. A lot of schools now hire phys ed and health ed. As you guys know, Mr. Cleary's here. He's one of them, right? He has a phys ed degree, a health ed degree. So I got those done pretty soon. And then to become an administrator in New York State, you have to go to school for school building leadership. So it's you have to do a lot of service hours. You have to do, it was a process. It took a couple of years, but I wanted to do it. And I think just going through the phys ed and how much I love coaching, and again, it just gets back to my love of working with people and students. And I was like, hey, what better job to be in, right? I have 27 varsity coaches here that I get to work with, work alongside, mentor, problem solve, and that was the reason for going through. So my degrees are in phys ed, health ed, and school district leadership.
Yeah. Sounds like the work was worth it, huh?
It was very much worth it, Jaden, and just like what you guys are going through now, you have a love, and that love will guide what path you get to. So it's definitely worth it. I love what I'm doing.
So I guess, like, what are some highlights of being an athletic director? What are some great experiences that you've had?
Yeah, and again, not just because you guys are sitting here. This has been such a highlight. You guys have captivated our athletic community. I was just talking to Mr. Rodriguez about you guys, our high school principal, this morning, about the work you've done. So the highlights happen every single day, every minute. You watch a kid hit a walk-off home run, or you watch a student athlete lose a big game but handle themselves like we want them to handle themselves and learn those lessons, right? So the joys of this job are in wins, losses, and everything in between, as long as our student athletes are conducting themselves and representing our school the correct way. I love it. I love it. I love to see our ninth graders come in. I love to see our parents jumping with joy in the bleachers for their child who achieves success, and everything in between. So it's certainly a wonderful job, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah,
It's very
definitely.
cool.
What are some experiences you got to do, like with summer sports, or just overall because you were athletic?
Yeah, so it's funny, Benny. I think a lot of what goes on here. So we have 27 varsity teams, right? And I was a baseball and basketball guy. That's all I knew. That was my life growing up in the city, and that's all I knew. I didn't play football, right? We didn't even have football in my high school. And now look at
Really?
where I am here. Yeah, look at where I am, right? We're in the mecca of high school football. I didn't swim. I didn't ski. I didn't gymnastics. Like these are all programs for us, and it's allowed me. Like the cool experiences are that I've learned along the way. You become an athletic director. It doesn't mean I know the rules of every sport. So you learn a lot about things that you don't know. Lacrosse is going on right now, boys and girls lacrosse. Our coaches have taught me so much. I never knew about lacrosse, and I love the game now. Our varsity girls softball team is so much fun to watch. The energy, the passion. So, the cool experiences come in. Like athletics is such a big world. We think we know what we know, but then you see other sports and how they practice and how they prepare, and a lot of it is a learning experience. And I've learned a lot, but you get to see people just do what they love, right? Every day with a passion. Our coaches here are the most amazing people. I always joke to our parents. I say, our coaches probably work for about 5 cents an hour. Coaches put in so much work, so much time, so much effort for our kids, and to watch them try to be as good at their craft as they can for our student athletes is an incredible experience for me. So, I just think just being around all these sports, learning, seeing people succeed, has been a wonderful experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I know it might be difficult, but if you had to pick a favorite sport, where would you go?
So I think my favorite sport, Jaden, I was a basketball guy growing up. I coached it here in Somers.
Yeah.
But I think my favorite sport right now is I have 3 seasons of favorite sports. I've become a true fan of whatever those teams that are playing in that. So I love every sport. I try to get to as much as I could. It's hard. So my favorites, I'll dodge the question. I won't give you one.
Okay,
But I
sure.
will tell you that I have 3 seasons of favorite sports.
Okay.
And while I'm there for a lot of reasons, I'm honestly in my heart. You don't see it, but like I cheer for our kids, and I cheer for our coaches, right? Because I know how much it means to them, right?
Yeah.
So I want to see those people succeed so bad. I can't show it because I have to maintain a level of professionalism. I don't want to jump up and down when we win a game, but I think every sport we have here in Somers is my favorite sport, depending on the time of year.
Yeah, definitely. And so now going into each like sport event or game, what is the process of like planning each game?
Yeah, so it starts with Miss Tippett every day. I mean, it's a thing, right? So we get in, and the process starts in the morning. You have to make sure your fields are ready. You have to make sure the buses are ready to go. You have to confirm with the other school, hey, are you coming to us? Again, weather is a huge thing this time of year. With canceling, rescheduling. There's a lot of stuff that just goes on to get a team here, right? And for me, a huge thing for me is that our fans come and enjoy a safe environment, right? That they could come and enjoy a game. Everybody comes safely, goes home safely. I have a great supervision staff that I work with that ensures that. I give them so much credit for what they do behind the scenes. And every sport, again, you just want to make sure that your kids have the best opportunity to play. The fields are clean, the fields are safe, the goals are ready, the balls are blown up. So there's a lot of little things that go on, but I have great people around to help out. I have Miss Tippett during the day, I have my supervision staff after school, and I have my coaches, obviously, that do a lot of that stuff. And after doing it for a couple of years, it just kind of rolls, especially when you have experienced coaches. But just to get to that tip of the ball or the face-off, it's a lot of work. But we get there.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like a lot of people, a lot of moving parts, and
Yeah, you guys see it, right?
Yeah.
You're here as much as they are now, and it's a lot of moving parts. And one thing, again, you need to build those relationships and have good people around you, and I'm certainly lucky to do that, to make those moving parts work. This isn't a Mark Adam thing. This is a whole team thing, and I'm very blessed and fortunate to have great people that I work with that help me out on a daily basis.
It's great.
Yeah,
definitely.
very cool. What's your favorite sport, Jaden?
It's hard to say.
Al, you got to come on. You got to give an
Probably
answer.
baseball, just
Okay.
to be involved with.
Yeah.
But for, I guess, more of the broadcasting, probably football.
Yeah.
and just the community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. It's interesting. I asked you guys that question, and Benny, I'd love to know too. It's
Yeah.
what's your favorite sport, and then what's your? I'll ask it in a different way,
All right.
and you got to give an answer.
Okay.
What's your favorite sport to broadcast?
I gotta say football, because football has always been my favorite sport
Mhm.
since the beginning. And
Mhm.
just, sport I've always enjoyed. I came into it already knowing it very well, and
Mhm.
it's always been football. But I've also enjoyed, like, lacrosse. I came into the season not even knowing anything, basically nothing about lacrosse.
Yeah.
I've learned so much and fallen in love in the sport.
It's an
And
amazing sport,
It's
lacrosse.
been less than a month.
Sure.
I'm probably gonna follow it, maybe even broadcast it one day.
Great.
And I'm
Great.
looking forward for that.
And
also,
you could follow a lot of athletes in college too. A lot of lacrosse athletes are playing
yeah,
college.
definitely. And also, another sport I've always loved is basketball. And then a sport that Somers doesn't have, a sport that I've always loved is car racing, NASCAR, IndyCar, and yeah, that's always something I like to do.
I think the
for fun
best
as
we
well.
could do there is track and field.
Yeah.
Going around, but
Yeah.
the race car is definitely a cool thing. That's a wild sport.
Yeah, definitely.
And how about you, Jaden? What's your favorite? Benny gave us 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Were you able to narrow it down to one or no?
Like to broadcast.
Just to broadcast. You have a big game, right?
Yeah.
A section championship
It's
or a
football.
big right. It's football. That's
His
the one that's got
community, just
And brings a
people,
passion.
and also how much like we're trying to really make it
Mm,
so football like stands out a
Yeah.
lot next year. So like
that's
get
awesome.
everything, prepared perfectly, get ready for
Well,
that.
you guys did a great job. There's a lot. I give you guys a lot of credit because nobody talks to Mr. DiMatteo during the week. Coach DiMatteo, he
Yeah.
gets, and you guys managed to get him in and get all those answers.
Definitely.
And you talk about my highlights. I think maybe the 1A for me was watching you guys have the chance to do the state championship game up in Syracuse and
Yeah,
that
it
experience.
was
So
number
football's
one for me, too.
cool, and but they're all great, and I love to hear that you guys are loving some of those other sports, right? And
Yeah,
because there's a beauty in all sport, and very cool.
Yeah,
So,
and
Alright.
yeah.
I just want to say another thing is, Jaden was mentioning it a little bit, but like this season, like this was really when I got first into so much sports, and just seeing how this community has come together for like all the sports is just great to see, and it's great to be a part of as well.
We're lucky here. This is not normal. What we have here goes on only a couple other schools in this section, the 77 schools, and we're very lucky in Somers. Very lucky.
So, how do you determine like who is best for a job, just in the athletic department? Like, how do you just find the right person? How do
Yeah.
you make sure they're good?
Yeah, something I learned along the way is once you hire the right person, you only want to hire that person once, right? Or you only want to hire a person once for a position,
Yeah.
right? By the time I retire, if I hired somebody, I've been lucky to hire some great coaches.
Yeah.
JT Genovese, Teresa Ricky, and I never want to hire for their positions ever again. And at the core of it is I hire high character people. Everybody knows the game, right? To some know it a little bit more, but you want great high character people leading our student athletes. And I always have a slight tint, Jaden, on people that went to Somers and might have graduated Somers. Love to bring back our old student athletes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And another question I have for you is there a certain opponent that Somers always plays that you just look forward for each year if you had to pick one?
Yeah,
or
the
two?
rivalry games, which is everybody in our area. Although that's changing with some league alignment stuff, but the Yorktowns and Maypacks, the Cross Rivers, those are always the big ones. And you guys are big sports fans, right? So the teams you see a lot. Everybody knows tendencies, and they get on each other's nerves a little bit more. So those games always tend to bring out the best in kids, and so I would say our local games, our local rivalries. Yeah.
Definitely. Another question I'm going to throw in there is there any parts of an athletic director that people may not know about?
Yeah, Benny, thank you for asking that because I think the job lends itself to having to make decisions, tough decisions. And honestly, I think at the end of the day, I like I told you, I just love this place. I'm kind of a big teddy bear in a way that I enjoy people and I want the best for people. Unfortunately, every day there's tough decisions, there's removing spectators from games, there's all kinds of things that you have to be very assertive with. With that being said, I love this job, and in the down, the inside, Benny, I'm just I'm a big, kid like you guys are that just love the game, love cheering for teams, and just want to see our teams win. So yeah.
And final question for today: what is your most proudest moment as an athletic director?
Maybe our sports broadcasting club, but there's been a lot of proud moments. We're doing something next weekend. We're doing our first annual Girls in Sports Day. We have 60 plus girls in it from our district. Kindergarten through fifth grade come in with 11 different varsity coaches. And doing those things where you're giving kids the opportunity. It's not just about the high school kids, it's about the whole community. There's so many of those, right? The success of you guys, the success of our programs. I go to my meetings, I talk to other ADs, and what we do here in Somers is truly special. And there's so many successes. The relationships I built, like I talk about the people I have working for me, but man, I could go on and on with that question, but I think every day there's just a new, really cool thing that happens, and I'm a lucky person to walk in this building and see what's going to happen. You know, today we have a baseball game, softball game, and greatness could happen just like that, right? You might see something special. So a lot of proud moments, and those are usually a daily thing for me.
All right, well, we very much appreciate you.
You guys are the
coming.
best. Thank you.
you.
Thank you. Look forward to the work. I'd like to thank you for all your work. I know you graduated this year, but the club's in great shape, so thank you for all your work.
All right, thank
Yeah.
you.
Today we're here with Sam Parsons, senior on the track team, sitting down with me for an interview. So how long have you been doing track?
I've been doing track since 8th grade, so 5 years now.
Amazing. And what are your main events for the winter and spring seasons?
So for the winter events are a little bit different, but basically I just run everything from 400 down and long jump and triple jump as well.
Amazing. And then how did you determine that these were the events that you were going to stick with?
Well, I got into track because my sister's grade, they were all seniors when I was a freshman, and they were all on the track team. They're pushing me to do track. And they told me, oh, just do long jump, try long jump. And I was pretty good at long jump and modified. Jumped like 15 feet 10 as an 8th grader, so decided to stick with that.
Amazing. And how would you define success as a track athlete?
I think like resilience, being able to handle pressure, is like very important as a track athlete. It's like, since it's such an individual sport, it's so easy to like get in your head. So being able to like keep your head on straight under pressure, come back from losses or like bad meets is important. Being technically sound, having good technique. Since it's so physical, like day to day, you might have a day where you're not feeling good, but if you have like good technique, you're technically sound, you could hit like the long jump board, or you have good form in like the jumps or the field events, you could usually still pull out a pretty decent performance even if you're not feeling great or if you're tired.
Yeah, that's great. And then what's your proudest moment as an athlete?
My proudest moment as an athlete was last year we won the 4x400 meter relay at counties. That was like a crazy squad. We broke the school record. That relay was in the works for like since my freshman year. It was me, Aiden Meza, Andrew Fasone, and Arjun Oha. That was like a good relay. Like we won counties. Like the whole stadium was like on their feet, like rounding the final corner. And we won the county meet, and we kept momentum from the county meet on. We won sectionals by like over 50 meters, won state quals, went to states, went to nationals, broke the school record. Like that was like easily my proudest moment, was running that relay with my teammates like that.
Yeah, congratulations. So I know your senior season's coming to an end, but what are you going to do to keep getting better?
I'm going to keep training, keep working on my form. Big thing right now is I think, especially with spring, is like surviving the season. Like a lot of times you'll see some of the best guys do too many meets too early, they get injured, like, or tweak something. So I'm focusing on like really taking care of my body, and I feel like I put myself in a position with my training where I'm not too worried about it right now, and I just need to get out there and perform.
Yeah, and then what are the goals you have for the rest of your senior going into counties and sectionals?
I'm seeded second in the county for triple jump, but I'm obviously going to go for the county. I always upset in long jump at the county as well. Sectionals, I'm seeded third in triple, but there's always upsets. People have good days, people have bad days, so I'm going for the win at counties and sectionals. I want to go all county, all section. School record as well, I'm chasing that too, because that's within range.
All right, good luck to you. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you, Nathan.
So next up, we're gonna be talking about what is currently going on in the NBA. First up, the Celtics-Knicks series. The Celtics have blown 2 leads so far in the first games. Knicks currently up 2-0, and probably the biggest surprise of the playoffs. But also another big surprise: Pacers currently lead the Cavs 2-0. So both wild series, and then the Thunder evens the series with the Nuggets 1-1. And my biggest upset of the NBA playoffs, I gotta say, is gonna be Pacers over the Cavs 2-0. Cavs are a great team, and it's a surprise. Even though with the injury, it's a surprise that the Pacers are playing this good against them.
And now on to some NFL. Draft has concluded a week or 2 weeks ago, and we have come to these two teams that have some interesting quarterback situations. So we're going to start off with talking about the Browns quarterback situation.
Yeah, so the Browns have 5 quarterbacks that on their roster, including Flacco, Pickett, Sean Watson, and of course, Shedeur Sanders, and I believe it's Will Howard that they drafted as well. They drafted another quarterback before Shedeur Sanders, but that's gonna be interesting what they decide to do here. I think because Deshaun Watson's gonna be out probably most of the season, they're gonna start off with Kenny Pickett for the season, and I think towards the end of the season they're gonna try out Shedeur Sanders. They're probably gonna also go between Pickett and Flacco as the Browns are trying to find their footing. I don't think they have the best season, and then at the end they're gonna try out Sanders, and I think he may play well, but at the same time, I think they're gonna next year gonna decide to head in the direction of a new quarterback after all is said and done.
I think they're going to start off the season with either Flacco or Watson. And then if that quarterback is not doing too well, not giving them the results they want, they're going to switch it up, maybe give a younger quarterback a shot.
Yeah, and now another quarterback situation we're going to talk about. The New York Giants they have Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, and they also have Jameis Winston. Interesting 3 duo there, and I think smart move here. They're going to start the season off with Russell Wilson. They got Russell Wilson to start. He is one great quarterback. He did win a Super Bowl with Seattle, a Super Bowl winning quarterback. They're going to start off the season with him, but after that, I think it's going to be some point during the season. I think the Giants have an average season, but they're going to make the switch to Jackson Dart. And Jackson's Dart's playing ability is going to start to show up a little bit. Hopefully it does, because he has Malik Neighbors and some good receivers out there as well.
I agree with Benny. They're going to start with Wilson. And then I think they're going to stick with him for the majority of the season. And then they'll see where it goes. Depends on his performance if they want to try somebody else in that starting role. Next up, we're going to talk about an NHL update, go over the current playoff situation. And now we're going to talk about round 2 of the NHL playoffs just getting started here. We'll talk more about it next week once most of the series have concluded. But so far the Stars are leading the Jets 1-0. The Maple Leafs are leading the Panthers 2-0. The Oilers are leading the Golden Knights 1-0. And the Hurricanes are leading the Capitals 1-0.
So next up is my varsity football power rankings from the end of this past season. Next up, we're going to be talking about the top 5 power rankings for Section 1 varsity football coming out of this past season and teams to look out for the next season. So I'm going to start off with an honorable mention, not making the top 5 list, but that team played very well. They even made the playoffs, and they had a great record as well. I'm going to say Brewster showed up with a great performance, had one of the best seasons they've had in a while last year, and it's just a team to keep an eye out for as we go into next year. At number 5 now, I got Yorktown. Yorktown, a tough opponent against Somers, is also a well-coached team, and they're always a tough opponent. Yorktown, always a team to look out for, and historically as well. We got Mahopac at number 4. Mahopac always been a great team historically. If you may not know, Coach DiMattio's brother also is the head coach there, and Mahopac has a lot of great players this past season and coming into next season as well. So at number 3, we got Harrison. Harrison, as you know, they gave Somers a run for its money in the second playoff game this year when they took on Harrison, and this team doesn't give up that easily. They're a team that's always in it, and I'm sure they'll be in again. At number 2, I got Rye. Rye is probably the toughest opponent for the Tuskers this year, and they're getting a good amount of players back, probably losing the same amount of players that Somers is losing, but it's still going to be a pretty even battle. And at number 1, of course, I got the Somers Tuskers. They are losing a lot of great players, but they're also keeping a lot of great players as well. Dean Palazzolo's staying, and Brett Kennedy on the defense. We also have a few other great players coming up like Tristan Iglesias. He's phenomenal at lacrosse. We're probably going to see him do great at quarterback. Cameron Violante, they still have him. There's going to be a lot of other great players on the JV team that are going to come up going into 11th grade that I think have played phenomenal on the JV team, and they're going to continue to fit well in this coaching system. And this coaching system as well is a big reason why I put Somers at number one. They're just well coached. The coaches do a great job, and there's a reason why the Tuskers have won the state championship 3 years in a row, and 3 years ago their team was totally different compared to the team they have now. We are the Somers Sports Broadcasting Club. See you next week.